Welcome into the latest edition of ESPN FC. I'm Dan Thomas, joined by Shaka Hislop here in the studio. We also welcome to the programme Mario Melchiot is with us, as is Nedum Onuoha, as we kick things off. Should we see them? Nah, don't bother. That's fair enough. We'll start off. No one wants to see those faces anyway. We'll start off with news of Alexander Isak's injury. We heard rumours that he broke his leg. That was confirmed today by Liverpool. After diagnosis, an operation was completed today on an ankle injury that included a fibular fracture. Isak's rehabilitation will now continue at the AXA training centre with no time frame yet placed on his return. Mario and Nedum are indeed with us, but I want to start with you, Shaq, because you suffered this exact injury.
Pretty much.
We're talking about comebacks. How long did it take you to return?
I played 6 months after breaking my leg, but I came back too early.
Right.
So with mine, and I guess we're still waiting on the exact details of Alexander Isak's. Mine was a couple inches above the ankle, had a plate put in to stabilize the fibula, but I also tore the ligaments on the inside of my ankle. So that had to be stitched. This was in February 2000, I broke my leg. I came back and played the first game of the following season, away to Chelsea, Stamford Bridge. I'm running across the box as I do, warming up, and my ankle would just give out every so often, randomly.
I wasn't used to you running.
Well, maybe that was it. but the thing is, so 6 months after the operation, I still wasn't ready to come back.
Right.
I really shouldn't have been playing. So now we talk about this with Alexander Isak, and while granted, we are talking about 26 years of advancing in the medical technology, you just wonder, well, they may put a shorter time frame on this. Will he really be back to his full fitness, back to who and having full confidence in that ankle?
Nedum, there's no way of sugarcoating it. It's an absolute disaster for him in what has been a really horrible few months.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think Shaka's saying they're trying to get him back to his best. Well, I think as far as his time in a Liverpool shirt goes, he hasn't been there. Obviously, it's been for different reasons, whether it's to do with the pre-season or early injuries as well. But it's a nightmare start, and having his leg or his ankle being broken as such, that's so unfortunate as well.
The irony, of course, is that he scored a great goal to give Liverpool the advantage in the game, and yet he's out now, as Shaka said, probably for 6 to 7 months.
Yeah, it's sad, like the moment when it happened, you understand? Because, if you look at the situation, he had that strike and you're thinking like, okay, this is a perfect timing for him and make him grow. And then he gets that injury. You know what the worst part is, I think about this injury is that during the time frame when it happened, he was already trying to catch up and trying to get himself back to the level that he wanted to be to bring his confidence back. And then you get this sick back. It's just like mentally, and I think it's going to be a very important moment, time for him actually, how he comes back. But it's not only the leg that he has to fix, it's also the mindset and saying like, hey, making sure that he's 100%. I don't want him to come back before he's 100% because he's just going to hurt himself if he doesn't do that.
So what does this mean for Liverpool going forward? We saw Salah score today for Egypt, Nedum. Does it mean there is absolutely no way you can get rid of him in January because you need numbers within this squad?
Wow, that's a really good question. I think perhaps that is the case as such, but you don't necessarily want to be holding players hostage if they don't want to be there, because that could in itself could have a bigger effect. I think we look at Liverpool in the summer and there was obviously the passing of Diogo Jota, but then they also let Darwin Núñez go, and come the start of the season, it felt like they were a little bit light. So maybe there is some idea of, trying to move people on if they feel that that's the right move for that individual and for the football club. But yeah, as I say, maybe this is going to be a blessing for Mo Salah as such, although, essentially he plays on that right side by himself anyway. So I don't think it's going to be almost a like-for-like issue as such, but yeah, it does cause another issue for what has been a very, very sort of like turbulent season for Liverpool so far. But I think Salah would have stayed anyway, to be honest. But I guess this might just confirm that.
Do you agree, Shaq?
Yeah, I don't see how you let Mo Salah go now. And listen, Liverpool, I'm sure, will be linked and have been linked with strikers already in terms of making a move in January. That won't stop. That'll be escalated as a matter of fact. But as of right now, given the injuries to Gakpo as well, the only warm bodies you've got, other than Ekitike, is Chiesa and Young Rio, neither of whom have started a game this season, or Premier League game anyway. So you're now looking for experience and proven quality at this level. And again, unless something amazing happens during the course of the January transfer window, I don't see how you let Mo Salah go at this point.
Letting him go would be one of the biggest losses. Why? Because the way he was as an individual, he was very, very important for the team in the sense of his direction and the way he played. So they don't have that anymore. But for now, I think the hardest thing for them is going to be making sure they don't catch up any injuries or people dropping out, because then it's already a ship that is trying to stable himself. And if they carry on, it's going to be even worse for them.
He's linked to your lot as well, isn't he, Nedum?
Yes, he is. And I think that left side, to be fair, has been taken up very well by Doku at this point. And City's squad is a little bit on the larger side, but in terms of a signing that could very much make an impact, he is that. I think we've seen for a few years the potential that he's had, but then when he started the season on fire in the way that he did, it seemed like it was becoming more of a reality. And at times, this has been in a Bournemouth side that overall has been struggling relative to their, say, performances last season. But I love how direct he is. I love how he suits Bournemouth style, being on the front foot and really going taking on those fullbacks. And I think Mario was right. Like, if he was to end up at Liverpool, it does feel a little bit like a Luis Diaz type signing. And I think he has the ability to go to that next level, whether it's for a side that will be playing in the Champions League, hoping to be winning Premier League titles and so on. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes if he does leave in January.
Just a reminder, the Gab and Jules podcast is available every single week. The latest one dropped today as they look back on what happened, not only in the Premier League, but other big matches right across Europe. Manchester United epitomised late comebacks, yet they completely flipped that on their head now.
I mean, this is so far from that version of Manchester United.
Who's to blame, would you say, the players or the managers?
I think a bit of both. And to Mario's point, I wouldn't say disciplined. I'd say Manchester United are predictable. You know exactly how they're going to play. You know the personnel. You know exactly what they're going to do. They're not going to do anything different. And the thing I've felt about Manchester United this season, when things are going well for them, they can be a good team. But from the time you change things up, if you make the game physical, if you press them in a different way in the second half, if you just ruffle their feathers, they are unable to respond. And then why you also have to put that on Amorim is because the changes he makes in those moments when the game changes and the clock is starting to tick down, don't change who Manchester United are. It doesn't change what they're doing. It doesn't change their threat. And so as an opponent, you kind of know exactly how they're going to be from minute 1 to minute 90. And it's how you work around that to get the better of them. Lesser teams fall by the wayside, but Villa are a good team. And they showed it, even though I don't think Villa were that great but themselves, but they're a good team and that they know what to expect from Manchester United. And in the end, got the better of them.
Just a reminder, ESPN FC with you throughout the week. Shaka, you're here every day, aren't you?
Just about.
Hey, what a Christmas treat. For everybody involved.
Okay.
To join us on the next edition of the show. Just a reminder, we are with you every single day through the festive period. What a treat for you all.
Actually, didn't think it was a penalty, if I put it that way.
Really?
In that, when I'm watching the game, I start screaming at the television straight away. I thought it was a penalty. But then as I saw the replays, and I get your point with Chalobah's leg coming across, but all the contact was shoulder to shoulder. All the contact was shoulder to shoulder.
He shoulders him and then he trips over his leg.
No, I don't think he was tripped by leg. I thought it was shoulder to shoulder. But ordinarily, when we talk about shoulder to shoulder challenges, it's two players kind of running for the ball, and that can casual certainly in relation to this contact. But this one, to Nedum's point, Chalobah comes an awful long way around, rather aggressive with it, but the contact is shoulder to shoulder. So I even supported Newcastle. I was all right with it not being a penalty.
Wow, you agree with the VAR calls?
Yeah, well, that one, not the first one.
Not the kicker one, no.
No, the Arsenal one was ridiculous.
And Nedum, why don't Chelsea play more like that than they did in the second half? They were excellent.
Oh, wow. Well, I think they needed to be because they were pretty much a disaster in that first half.
Yes, that's true.
I think the fact that they can be that inconsistent kind of sums up the feeling that we have with them, whereby at times they can look really good, but then you look where they are in the table, they're never really in with a chance of winning the title as such. And I think in some ways that's the sort of that's the way that you see sides who are so young, because sometimes it's good, sometimes it's a disaster, but when it comes together, it looks really, really good.
See, I saw this differently. I saw this as Newcastle folding.
Right. And as they've done a number of times.
As they've done. And a lot was made certainly during the game about the number of points. I think it's 13 that Newcastle have dropped from winning positions. Well, they're playing well, and all of a sudden, they get that punch in the face, and they just fold. And now, for me, I thought Newcastle certainly were the better of the two teams in the first half. And then Reece James scores that free kick right at the start of the second half, and Newcastle just fold as a result. So, and Chelsea, to their credit, dominate the second half. So I just, again, just watching this game from a Newcastle perspective, I just saw this as Newcastle conceding from a set piece and not being able to respond. And that has been the concern for Newcastle all season long for me and why they're mid-table as they are.
Xavi Simons' red card is the first time a Dutch player has been sent off for a foul on a compatriot in the Premier League since April 2001, when Spurs' William Corson was red-carded after fouling Chelsea's Mario Melchiot.
Ah, boy.
Mario, you have no memory of this.
No, I know. No, I have no memory of that. It's so long ago. But against Spurs, there was some kicking around, so don't worry about it.
Right, I was expecting a better story.
No, I know you want to know what I think about this situation. What this happened, you know what I'm saying? I saw Xavi. I don't think even Xavi wanted to hurt him. The way he stepped, I think Xavi probably thought, like, what the hell am I doing? I felt it was more that kind of thing than instead of him going, okay, it was a red card, but I don't think he deliberately wanted to hurt him.
Why did William Corson hate you, Mario? Was there a history between the two of you?
William Corson, I don't even know anymore. I don't even know. I'm thinking about it. I really don't know. That question, no.
Don't worry, we're fine.
I really don't know.
That is it. YouTube, if you want to see more of this fascinating stuff, be sure to go over and subscribe to ESPN FC.
Oh, God.